This is the plaintiff, Nathan Messina. He says he used to live with the defendant, who had what he thought was his baby, and he was paying child support for 4 months before he found out the baby wasn't his. The defendant lied to him because she told him he was the only one she was with while they were together. This is a terrible situation because he named the baby and now it isn't even his. He's suing for $2,096, the money wrongfully taken from him. This is the defendant, Bethany Roy. She says she really did think the baby was his and had no idea he wasn't the father. As far as owing him money, no way. He used to beat her, even putting her in the hospital while she was pregnant. He didn't pay those hospital bills, she did, so they're even. She's accused of having a bad memory.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Nathan Messina.
How you doing?
Hi.
Your Honor.
You are suing Bethany Roy for $2,096 that you want returned to you, that it has cost you in child support payments and other damages as a result of believing that her child was your child. Tell me what happened.
Well, we did have a messy breakup back in, I think it was February of 2008. Ends up, there were cops involved in everything. That was all.
What does that mean, messy breakup? How long had you been dating?
I'd say like a good 3 years about.
And what does messy mean? Violent?
Well, we started off in an argument, and we pretty much, I worked a lot, so I was supposed to work on a Saturday night, and she got mad. She wanted me to go to one of her cousin's birthdays, and ends up she got mad that I wasn't going to go. So she went outside, keyed my car. She went to go do it again, and then I restrained her. She was flailing everywhere, and then our heads hit. But
your heads hit what?
Each other.
Okay. She was pregnant at the time?
No. But
No.
she ended up calling the cops, and I got arrested that night.
What'd you get arrested for?
Domestic disturbance.
And what happened with that case?
That eventually got thrown out.
Because she didn't show up?
No, she showed up. That was just thrown out because I went to classes and everything for it.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. So what happened is that they dismissed it after you did what you had to do, which is go to classes. So they cut a deal with you where if you went to classes, they'd dismiss it?
Yep.
Okay, and how many classes did you take?
I like to say 12 to 16.
Okay, did you guys go back after that?
Well, she moved out. We really didn't get really back together. We saw each other occasionally, and, from there, we did have meetups, consensual sex and everything.
Okay.
But,
and then when do you learn she's pregnant?
Forgot the exact date. I think it was in late September.
Did she go to the hospital at the time that you're describing? You don't know? That's sort of something I'd expect you to know.
Well, she came to my house.
According to you, you went to the hospital that night?
The hospital report that I have is from a different night. He's speaking to an event that happened a year before I was pregnant.
Did he ever put you in a hospital?
Yes.
When?
March 30th, 2009.
Okay.
I was 6 months pregnant with my son, and I have the hospital report here.
Okay. Do you remember now? Is this jogging? You remember about putting a 6 month pregnant woman in a hospital?
Honestly, I did not hurt her.
Did she go to the hospital?
She did.
Okay, so you know the answer to my question.
Yes.
Okay, then you could say, yes, Judge, there was one time we had a conflict, she went to the hospital, but I didn't hurt her. You could say that.
Sorry.
Patient did not go to the police due to the fact that she was arrested last time for violating the restraining order.
We had a mutual protective order where he couldn't go to my residence, I couldn't go to his residence.
And was that in effect at the time that this happened?
It was.
So what were you doing?
How
many times did you have a domestic violence issue with him?
4 total. I was pregnant and in love and thought he was the father of my son, so I was trying to make things work. Kept going back.
I was pregnant, I was in love with him, and I thought he was the father of my son. Well, let's see how the plot thickens. So go ahead, what happened?
Well, the first date that I was arrested, one of my buddies actually went to my apartment where she resided at the time, and he said that the actual father was there, and they were doing pretty close stuff, he told me. He wasn't there for all of it, but...
What's pretty close stuff? And how was he there for any of it, if they're doing close stuff?
Well, it was a pretty small apartment, one big room, pretty much.
Oh, he lived there too?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, it was about like a year and a half when she finally filed for child support.
Did you pay child support before that?
No.
Oh, you never paid child support.
No.
And
Well,
were you-
I did, but I missed the first court date. I never got served the papers.
No, but I mean, before she went to court,
Oh.
the child was a year and a half old,
I believe so, yes.
and you never paid a penny?
No. Well, we pretty much didn't contact each other, haven't talked or
Oh,
anything.
wait a minute. Okay, so when she tells you I'm pregnant, you're already broken up?
Pretty much, yeah.
But she's saying no, and you're saying pretty much. What does that mean? You're on again, off again?
Yeah, that's how we
Okay,
work.
and then if you think it's your child, why, out of curiosity, why aren't you paying anything?
Well, I didn't think it was my child.
Oh, so you're doing that? Did you go see your child?
No, I saw it occasionally at the place she worked, but
How would you see that? Did you think it was your child? You didn't.
I didn't know.
So, and she didn't say, "Hey, come see your kid," or nothing happened. Like you guys just didn't.
Well, I pretty much just lost her phone number. You know, just how we broke
Yeah,
up.
that's always happened. Because here's the thing. She's telling you your seed is growing in my belly, and there's a possibility, since we know you were sleeping with her, that there's at least a possibility it's true. And your theory on how you're going to handle it is, oh, I lost her phone number. That's your theory on how you're going to handle that. As opposed to, go put your hand down a second because I'm working here. Okay. As opposed to going to court, forcing a paternity test so that you could determine, because I would assume that you want to man up if it's your kid, right?
Yeah.
Or no, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to have to pay jack. And so it's better if you just fly under the radar like you were doing. Then what possessed you to finally go to court?
I went to court when my son was 4 days old. I went to the state to file for child support. It just took that long through the state of Connecticut to get a court
For the
date.
love of God. It's not just the state of Connecticut.
I know.
In a lot of places.
But we
so
actually
it took
had
them a year and a half,
No, it did not take them that long. March 18th, 2010.
which is how long after you filed?
6 months.
Okay.
So it took about 6 months for them to get a court date. So March 18th, we requested, they sent him notices. They sent me
This is
notices.
March 18th of what year?
2010.
Okay.
Requesting to go to court so we could get a DNA test.
Where was the notice sent?
Pleasant Street.
And is that where he was living? Is that where you were living?
Yes.
So why wouldn't you get the notice?
I don't know.
Okay.
And then, so
Because she doesn't send the notice. The court
does.
sends the notice. Go ahead.
And then he didn't show
You
up.
got notice, right?
I got notice.
Okay.
Then he didn't show up
the
on that
same
date.
entity in the court that sends notice to her sends notice to you. Okay, go ahead.
And he didn't show up on that date. So we said, let's give him a month. Maybe something was going on. Because they're like, do you want us to serve him papers and get him back here? So we did that. On April 20th, they served him papers to appear on April 20th. And again, he didn't show up. So the judge, who was getting a little aggravated at this point, adjudicated paternity, said, twice he hasn't shown up. And since he hadn't shown up twice, the judge said, we're going to take child support for the
now
child.
we're going to watch him show up. I bet that
Yeah.
got your attention, didn't
Because
it?
it's his
And then
right
you
to
show.
support
Well, you
his
actually
son.
went to court after that, right?
Well, I had to file for a reopen.
Yeah. Now you want somebody's attention. Now you want a judge to listen to you. So now
The judge decided to
the
go
judge
based on
decides to
a full-time
adjudicate
salary.
paternity and starts to take out money
from
from
him.
his paycheck. Was it $1,320 in child support payments? Okay. In any event, who orders the paternity test?
We both decided on it.
And what were the results of the paternity test?
He was not the father. Yes.
Who else were you sleeping with? Did you mention that to him?
I did not mention that while we were off. I was with somebody else because I was afraid that I'd end up in hospital
Well,
again.
let me ask you this. When you found out you were pregnant, did you do the math?
I did the math. However, I was
So
incorrect
you
about the
knew
date.
that there was a question.
No, I did not think there was a question because
Really?
yes, because spotting at the beginning of my pregnancy, I thought was a period. So I thought I had my
So
period
you're just not
from
good at
when
math. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, how close together were you sleeping with these two guys?
there was a 3-week period in between.
3-week period. And you think that 3-week give or take, based on what? How, you think that they can just figure out this is exactly the moment of conception, and this is why we know I mean, seriously, a 3-week give or take, and your light bulb doesn't turn on that there may be an issue here? Because it's not like you were with him and you wanted to believe it was his. You weren't even with him.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, you were done with him. And then another guy who you slept with and who's gone too. And then how would you not want to know? You're just too embarrassing to go to the court and say, hey, let me give you the usual suspects. And then give them the list? I mean, I don't know.
No, and the other guy wasn't gone. We've been friends for a long time, and we're friends together now. Where he's, a father to my son. We live together. He's
Is he your boyfriend now?
He's my boyfriend. And
I'm like a baby to bring two people together.
If I had known that was his father, I would have been there in a heartbeat.
And then what do? Do you pick up the phone and you call your boyfriend, your now boyfriend, and tell him, hey, it must be you?
And we need to talk.
Did he make you do a paternity test after that?
We did, yes.
Oh, okay, good. Because I got to tell you, if I'm the guy who gets that call, we're doing a paternity test.
Yes, we did.
Right. So now you're in court, and so
that's
now he
because-
wants. Stop talking. He wants his money back. And what's your answer to that?
Never asked him to pay anything. I wasn't trying to get money from him.
Are you kidding me?
Court
You went to court
to get medical insurance for my son who's autistic.
Okay, and I understand that, but if you want to get the insurance, one of the things that happens is that you have to agree to cooperate.
Yeah,
and you were the plaintiff in that case, the complainant. So don't say, I never asked him to pay that. You took the money. You got the money, and as it turned out, you got it from the wrong guy. Why is it not fair that you returned the money?
Because if he had done his responsibility and showed up at court the first 2 times, or the one time I had brought in Silas to his house to see him and asked, what are we going to do? How are we going to take care of him? And he just stood at the back door and wouldn't open the door. And I also have proof here that he believes Silas is his son. This is his own Facebook post where he clearly says that.
Who named him Silas?
Nath picked the name. I wanted to name him Malachi, but...
And you named him Silas because?
It's
your favorite name?
A character from a movie I liked.
Mm-hmm. What movie?
How High?
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So he was duped, he says, into paying 4 months of child support. Does he get the money back now that he knows he's not the dad?
Absolutely.
How come?
Well, because if it was his child, he would be responsible for paying that.
She could argue, though, that it's going to now hurt the kid because she has to come up with the money and blah, blah, blah.
No, he shouldn't get paid back because he played with the child and he had some kind
But he played with a child that isn't his, believing it was. It's kind of deceptive, isn't it?
Give him back the money.
Give him back the money?
Give him back the money.
Because?
Because I don't want the child harmed.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
What is this?
Is his Facebook page?
No, but I mean, every say, I don't know what to expect, have been hurt, but still want to connect with the one that shares my blood. All I feel like is being face down in the mud. Young is innocent. What will he think of me? What person does he think I should be? Guess too many questions isn't the answer. They're killing my brain like cancer. What is that?
That was just me thinking.
You should think more. It's well put. Okay, well, the bottom line is it's not his kid.
Yeah.
Right. And you have 1,320 of his dollars. There is case law. There's very few reported cases on this kind of issue. There are 2 big cases, one from California, one from Nebraska, that talk about this issue. And what they talk about is a matter of public policy. And what they say is, look, if a guy and a girl have a baby, and a guy decides that he's going to take a girl's word for it, that that's his child, and he pays child support, and then it turns out that a few years later he gets suspicious and he turns around and he goes ahead and files a paternity action, and it turns out that that's not his baby, we're not going to let him take food out of the mouth of that 4-year-old child, because child support is for the child, and it's not the child's fault. And, you shouldn't have taken her word for it. You should have done some due diligence. Okay. That's not the situation I have here. This guy never paid child support voluntarily. He never believed that he was the father. Okay? He always had a suspicion. And the minute that they finally told him, hey, you got to pay child support, they forced it out of him and forced it out of his paycheck. He fought it, and then he turned out to be right. So I don't have a guy who sat back and did nothing. I have a guy who fought it like he should. I don't have a good guy who the baby's born and says, I need to know, is this my child? I want to take care of him. I don't have that. Okay? But I have a guy who the first time he's told he's got to do X, he says, I'm doing that. I don't think that's my kid. Test it. And then it turns out that he's not. $1,320, verdict for the plaintiff. As for your days lost from work, no. As for your travel costs to attend court proceedings, no. It's not compensatory. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to order it to be compensated because you were sleeping with her at the time. I don't think anybody knew whose kid it was. $1,320, verdict for the plaintiff, pay him back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right there, please.
So the defendant comes out here giving back that child support money. Come on in here. What's your feeling coming out?
I'm glad he's not the father of my son, and I'm glad that my son has a good father now.
You say that now, but you pretty much insisted that he was the father back then.
Yeah.
Did you mind him being the dad at that point?
Yes, I did not want him around my son.
Well, why didn't you ask that other gentleman to submit to a test then?
Because I thought there was no possibility, and we had to pay for it out of pocket.
So how is Silas now?
Silas is good. He loves his dad a lot.
All right, that's the important thing. Hey, you head right down this way. All right, so come on in here, and how you feeling coming out of this courtroom?
Pretty good. Wish I had a little bit more out of it, but...
Yeah. Did it bother you at all Did you get used to the idea of being a dad? Were you disappointed when you found out you weren't in any way at all?
I was
personally?
like 50-50 mix, you know. I was semi-ready, but something told me that something wasn't right about her. Yeah, I really didn't believe that I was the father.
All right, now you know you're not. You're glad to be out of the situation?
Yes.
But there's a kid running around with the name you gave him?
Yeah, unfortunate. But what can you do?
Harvey?
So, if you're having a family law issue, you can call your local bar association. Many of them have free or low-cost consultations with a family law attorney, and it's really worth sitting down for a half hour and getting some roadmap to your legal rights. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.